So you are a home seller or a home buyer, and you already have your closing date set for your home, but your job just scheduled a very important meeting out of town for the same day that you're supposed to close. Do you have to close before you leave? Do you have to close after you return from your trip? Do you have any other options? And if you were in that situation, would that cause anxiety for you? Well, in the state of Georgia and in all other states as well, it is not necessarily a problem. Now, if you're a buyer, you need to talk to your lender and see whether or not what I'm going to propose to you is an option for your lender, because the lender has to make sure you have good interest in the title, so they have good interest in the title. But as a home seller or a home buyer, you could have what is called a power of attorney prepared so that you, or let's just say I was the one who was going out of town for a business trip, and I was going to give power of attorney to Tammy Slay, who many of you hear on the radio show with me occasionally, to go to the closing for me. Then I would appoint Tammy as my attorney in fact. Now, in Georgia, in order to get title insurance, which I'm recommending you as a buyer get, and certainly if you have a loan, the lender is going to require it anyway, the title insurance company is going to require a specific power of attorney. So it's not enough to say Tammy can sign for Cleve to purchase real estate. The power of attorney would say something like Tammy Renee Slay, her full name, is appointed by Cleveland Marcus Gaddis, my full name, to execute the transaction of this particular piece of property for this particular price, or reference this contract. It is specific to the powers that are involved. And in the state of Georgia, we electronically record documents, but we have to have originals of the documents. In other words, the attorney has to be able to see an original with blue ink signatures so they can tell it is an original. So if you are preparing for a closing and you finally realize that you're not going to be there, how should you handle that? Well, I would say first and foremost, tell your real estate agent. And they should immediately notify the closing attorney. In most states in the country, you close a real estate transaction with a title company. And so you would want to let your real estate agent, who would let the closing attorney know that you need a power of attorney. They would be looking for the name of the person that, for example, I as the seller or as the buyer would be looking to give power of attorney to. So they would be looking for Tammy's full name. They would be looking for a copy of her driver's license. They would want all that information from me, including a copy of my driver's license. And then the closing attorney, as everything is signed at closing, the closing attorney would actually verify that this is the person who has been appointed my attorney, in fact, to sign all those documents for me. And when you do a power of attorney, it is required in the state of Georgia that power of attorney, the specific, 3-page document, let's call it, that is recorded along with all of the documents that are signed under the power of attorney. So if you are marching toward a closing date and you realize you're not going to be able to attend closing, a power of attorney is the solution for you.